can continue to 125, that'll be pretty good. My share size is set to have smaller size to start. Let's see how we do here. ONCO. Straight to the best of our abilities, as usual. Volume is pretty light. It's interesting how the last couple of weeks, volume has been slow in the first like 10 seconds. Usually it's like instant. Low is 26, high is 50. Buying the low of day dip. Can we get that exit on the ask? Giving it a sec, giving it a sec. Cutting it scratch. CNEY coming alive, 110. We'll see if that one keeps going. The halt up is at 19 if it's to keep going. We'll see if it gives a quick pullback here. Oh, it's climbing, 15. I'm gonna wait for a pullback if possible. CNEY. And I do apologize for these trades that are off screen, but there's just no time to pull it up. And you know, I have 3 stocks at the top. To come down to the YouTube screen is gonna miss trades here. So we'll see if it keeps going. 23 for the halt up. It's at 14. Nine, 10. Show me 11, 12, 13. Oh, there's a bid. My share size is pretty small. Alright. Let me bulk up here real quick. Let me bulk up here, big boy size. If we dip down, I'm taking it on that bid. But it might just go all the way. 19. Alright, I'll try to pull it up here the next chance I get. Dang, that dip was good. I did unwind at I bought at 07. I unwinded a lot at 10. Teleported to 14 after that big buyer came in. I'm gonna try to take a massive position if it dips. Let me pull it up. I'll pull it up. Just try to be quick here. Time to bring out my big boy pants if this dips. The halt up is 28. Well, we might not get a dip at this point. ONCO is, you know, the range seems decent. I'm seeing it inside of my eyes. But still watching CNEY. Perhaps too soon. Waiting. I need to see more buying on the tape. 21. Come on down. The price is right. It's not really dropping as much as I would like. So I'm jumping in a little higher. Let's see if it does curl nicely. Target. Actually, I'll take some right here. Sell half. But target 24 if it does give the 1 minute candle to make the new high. There seems to be sellers. I need more of a screen here. Let's kind of pull this out. Let's pull this over. I might just have to just use 10k positions. I have the current candle is 22. There's 21. That fill was not good. I guess I'm a little late, but it's alright. Waiting. It is still a little extended, but, you know, are we going to see the tight pullback or are we going to see more of a retracement, right? Kind of just waiting. I do want to take it high or low. It all depends on how it plays out here. Oh, I should have marketed in. Damn it. Every time I try to throw a bid, it's like the selling literally stops exactly where I try to get long. Oh, come on. Not cool, not cool. 1595, which is pretty high. But that's okay. The support is there, but we'll see if it tests the support. I mean, we could see the 5-minute pullback here. So I do want to keep an eye out for that at least. Which is why I did try to hit the bid still. Because I know, like, okay, can I at least get the fill where I want to get the fill? But, you know, let's see what it does here. I'm only in 5k size, so not a big position. I do like that we got to 23. Was it going to be here? This is big. The low of the last candle is 14. We got resistance at 23. What's it going to be? The new 5-minute candle is also a minute away. Oh, man. Come on. Damn that breakout, man. I'm going to lose half in one trade. Worth the attempt, I would say. My goal was to try and sell quickly, but you know, sometimes these stocks they come down so fast. Mm-mm-mm. Let's see how it does, if it does test this buyer. There's a lot of selling here, so I want to see how this will do. Damn, the fills are slowing down. Just a heads up, they're seeing just a little bit of lag in the fills. Time 41. I needed a bigger position down there. I think that's what I needed, is a bigger position. But if it tests, if the dip can be tight, because we've been holding fairly tight, I think if the dip is tight, I can try again, like as in a big position. But the dip needs to be tight and not like low of day. If it's a low of day dip, then I'm just gonna lose. This might be good enough, honestly. So we'll see if it does test. Will we test? Is it gonna go? Can we get the dip? I'll take the dip. Can we retest? Now can we go? Come on. You know you want to. Okay, good. There it is. And it is failing, maybe. It looks like it might be failing. Come on. And I was about to get comfortable there too. I already looked away from the level 2, looking back at my order just to see and to adjust my shares. It's already back down at 19, or let's say 20. There's a dip I'm going to look for if it comes down, of course. See, that dip, that trade there, that trade right there has not worked the entire week on those other stocks that just keep giving back the entire retracement. If I would have bought there yesterday on that other stock, W whatever, I'd have been selling down at like 102, down 1K. So it's a better job of like, okay, this one has been tight, I'll try to trade it. And that stock yesterday, man, like, you know, those overextended dips did work. But only the overextended dips. Well, we were trading DUO anyway, so. Come on, Titanic. Titanic down to 110. wouldn't be surprised if 14 holds, but I don't think I'll take it. There's a lot of bids here, though. There's some big time buyers, right? 60,000, 50,000, 170,000, 13. So is it gonna hold here, or will we do come down? I think it should come down, but and the bid is holding. No. Okay. And okay, there's the trade. And I'm done. That's it. Shutting it down. Out of here. Pastor will not waste another second. Finally, a stock that would move normally, man. Took the entire week since Tuesday. The trades are linear. Everything makes sense for what the pullback was, the chart was saying. I don't need to see anything else here. I'm done. That's it. Shutting it down, taking the green, and I'm gonna go enjoy this weekend. Crispy and I are going to the gun range, I think. We should have a good time. Pastor is gonna be trying out a shotgun for the first time. What did Tim say? Something about a snub nose 12 gauge? Should be interesting. Guys, be sure to hit that thumbs up. It's gonna be an early live stream. Check out the links down below. I can just double check to see if there's any quick questions, and then we're out like south. In fact, I'm just gonna X out my charts while I'm at it, because if I keep looking at the screens, the Pastor is gonna be enticed to take a couple trades. I'm gonna be enticed, so shutting it down. Hit that thumbs up. Is there any announcements? We don't have any major announcements, but yeah, you guys can check out the links, and I think maybe that's it. Marcelo will be guys. For those of you in the chat room, in the YouTube stream, we're gonna be doing another live class today, another live overview in the chat. So if you guys want to join, feel free. That link is down below as well. We're doing a lot of interactive review sessions. Marcelo doing a lot of reviews. Crispy also from time to time jumps in. I'm gonna reach out to Save and Calamity, see if maybe, you know, I did talk with Vegito. Vegito is open to it. He said after the close, perhaps, you know, every now and again, maybe, you know, if it's a good day, you know, maybe he shows us a little bit of what he's doing, right? But once again, shout out to him, Mighty Putty, and Owen for passing verification. And those guys are all up 6 figures, and it's great to have them in the chat room. Although I did tell Mighty Putty to take it easy with the GIFs. I don't know if we'll bring him back. Probably not, but you know, we'll see. Stay safe, stay green. The Pastor signing out. It does feel like it just feels so early. Maybe maybe I get Marcelo to come live on the channel. I don't know. It feels so. I'll just hang out in the Discord. I'll catch you guys. If I stay here, I'm gonna try. I'll catch you guys later. It's hard to shut it down this early, but if I stay, I'm gonna get enticed. I'll probably log back in. Why is the lighting changing so much? I'll probably log back in. So tell Mighty to stream. I'll text him. Let's see what he says. He can take over the live stream. Poema. It feels so weird to just be done this early, but this is what we did at the beginning of the month. Or maybe Tim. Maybe Tim can take over the stream too. Triad. Triad, let me know, brother, if you're listening. Or even Big Steve, too. Big Steve can hold it down. Big Steve, I know you can hear me. Is he in here? Oh, no, he's... Oh, yeah, he is. Big Steve. Whoever answers first will get it. I'm gonna send a message to Tim. Oh, Big Steve sent a message. Oh, Big Steve has declined. Big Steve has declined the offer. Big Steve, you know, all you have to do is just voice, right? What I'll do is just would just either turn on your mic kind of thing, and just voice. All right, I'll give those guys 2 minutes or 3, and then that's it. You're probably dialed in, still trading. The stock is back at 114. I did X off my charts, but this is what the screen up top does look like, in case anybody is new. There's usually 3 charts up here to go with each level 2 at the top. So I'm always looking up at this monitor. I did post my setup. I can show that on screen too. Let's see. There's a setup section in the chat, and we had some nice setup. I'm gonna end the stream here in the
I
Discord.
put toast in there. Can you make us sandwiches? I'm
stop
running
the
a little late. I
recording
just
as
back to
well.
sleep after I turned the alarm on. I'm so tired. Yesterday was so fatiguing. I got home and I'm like,
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Trading stations.
and honey, I'm.
So we got a couple of trading stations,
I remember
right?
I told you I made
And I
reservations.
do have a lot of
tomorrow.
DMs I gotta respond to.
I think that's
so
Julie. That's enough time.
keep tight.
I got her late.
Is it on the right screen? Yeah, there's a couple of cool trading stations that people posted recently. Zay, man, looking pretty clean. I like the light strip. Nice L-shaped desk. That looks like it might have been one of the older one I had. The new one now is standing. The trades looking pretty good. Computer looks nice down there. The brain. Esco.
The decades-long road to reform the Medicare physician payment system has been difficult and rife with obstacles, such as ongoing physician payment cuts and record inflation without an automatic inflationary update for Medicare physicians. Temporary patches and partial fixes are not sustainable. Without systemic reform and appropriate funding,
Sky. Momo Bro. And then I think mine is right here as well. So this is the screen that I'm looking at right now, right? Right up here in the top left. Top middle? Top left? Everybody's set up looking very nice. We gotta get Crispy to post one. And then of course you have the memes. The live stream has went from trading to ranting. A poem or a song? I did a rap before, you know. I did a rap. I'm such a madman that I actually did a rap and posted it. It was pretty bad. Let's watch it what Marcelo is looking at here. CNEY and ONCO. 2K day for the big mighty. Not bad at all. Not bad. Not bad at all for the mighty. Or is it off today? Early day, brother. Triad said he's also done already on the day. I'm going to start taking trades in my E-Trade account. This account is fully funded. I could take trades here, which I did on the day where we had the back when the non-marginable stocks was like we thought was a problem. Although I do feel very like, you know, when people use the word like handicap in this type of situation, like it just doesn't feel the same. Like I'm not used to the layout as much, and I do have to pull up order entry. I'm using buttons rather than hotkeys. Is it left click twice? Let's see. Tools, order entry. Then you have to combine the links. And so I literally type in the symbol here, CNEY, and then one share, you know, share size, market order. I do like that E-Trade allows you to have these type of orders, like trailing stop percentage-wise, dollar-wise. Not bad, but straight up market. But then I'm hitting this buy and sell button here. Buy, long, sell. And then it shows up down here at the bottom right. So I'd have to look at the level 2 at the top. It's not bad, but it's like still kind of going in somewhat blind. It's like I'll trade the entire day and then look at the P&L after, and it's like you have no idea if you had high fills or anything. And there was something else that we had to do here too. Quinn, what's up? Good morning. How you doing? Brad, what's going on? SEEL. Yeah, we can do a class here. Yeah, we can do a, I guess it'll be like a small recap. I'm not quite over 1K, but I guess it can be like a recap. And then we'll shut it down. A good time to focus on health. Crispy trades.
Is that
All right, I'm gonna
t-shirt
jump
still cleaner when you wore with black? The black one?
Gen 1
I think so.
in
Where
the
is it?
chat.
I don't know.
I
You
don't
did
have
it
it
in the laundry, did you?
I don't think so.
Okay,
No,
good.
no, no.
Just wear that and those jeans fit. No one's gonna remember. They weren't even there when you're there. When you did
All right,
that.
let's do it.
Wear that
I'm
today for
gonna
Lisa
jump
and
in
Steve
Gen 1.
because it's a dark color.
All right.
Just make it easy and it looks good. Wear it again with your black tennis shoes, okay?
Okay.
Let's see. Share your screen. Actually, wrong screen. Hold up. I gotta do this one down here. I'm gonna show you guys my level 2 for those of you on YouTube. Check, check. It's pretty early, but we should be good. Can you guys hear me? Everything good?
Yeah, we hear you.
All right, I'm just gonna do a quick overview of a couple of the trades that I took. You guys can feel free to ask any questions as we go. We can also look over some trades from yesterday too on DUO. There are some dip trades that could be cool to go over. Some obvious mistakes that's worth pointing out that I made. So, as usual, every day always starts off with the Momo scans, right? Making sure that the stocks that are in play are hitting our criteria. And we did have a good couple of stocks today. CNEY, ONCO, and so forth coming down. So the scans were decent. We had our watch list stocks. We were on time. These are all important things. And we did map out our trend lines for the key areas. So coming into the open, ONCO, initially I have on watch. And for me, I'm always thinking
Hello?
about the range.
Sorry.
Yeah, what's up?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm always thinking about the range coming into the open. There's, of course, the pre-market range and then the intraday range as we get our first candle. So right here, I'm looking and we have a low of 620 and a high of 650. So, right off the bat for me, that's kind of the high and the low and where I could look to potentially attack dips. Some people on the YouTube stream, because, they don't understand the full length of the strategy. If you're just seeing the chart, it can seem like the buy and sells are just at random. But, there's always like some indicator behind what we're looking for.
Yeah, it's crazy, huh?
I think someone's mic might be on there. Here, I'll mute his mic for him.
Is Beaming here?
No, that was Dan.
A day, huh? Terrible.
Yeah, so as this thing dipped back down to those lows, but again, this is where I've been getting caught recently, right? It's like buying this dip and this dip then going down to like 590. Tuesday, Wednesday. But right here I'm hitting the ask at 36, trying to get the higher fill coming out for at least 10 cents. Or I guess a little more than 10 cents. But we never really came back up, so I'm gonna end up like marketing out. So it does bounce nicely. We're gonna fast forward a little bit. You can see it dip back into that same area again. But at this point, I already switched over to CNEY, which is why I'm not long at a retest of like 20. But as we know, this has not been working super well, and it's been flushing down to like 590. So I'm only using 700 shares. If it does, I buy back again lower, looking for the bounce back over the whole dollar. But what's gotten me is being in like 2K here, and then this being at 590, 40 cents 2K. Okay, I'm down 1K to start a day. Not great. Or 500-600, whatever it might be, depending on what fill I get. But switching over to CNEY. So this stock is at $1. At this price range, honestly, if I had to mark it in 15,000, I'd be comfortable. So for me to use 4,000, it feels like smaller size. I can use smaller size than this at times, but I'm feeling decent. This is a good indicator that this week, despite it being slow, it hasn't bothered me. Have I hesitated on particular days in certain areas? Yeah, maybe. But on the overall, it's like I'm still feeling pretty good. And it's like, all right, as long as we can see linear momentum, I know what to expect. So we have a low of 1. It's up here at 113. It pulls back. I'm seeing some bidders at 10. It doesn't quite hold 10 as the selling comes in, so I try to take the sub 10 dip, and now the retest of 10. Can we get back over the level? And I'm gonna scale out small size 1,000 shares. We're already up 3 cents in the trade. 4,000 shares. Every penny's gonna be $40, and so even just a 3 cent gain on a stock like this is still, worthy of something. And honestly, for those people watching on YouTube right now, like this is why our strategy is so powerful, is because we don't need to be in for 5, 10, 15 minutes, 5, 10, 15 days, 5, 10, or 15 weeks. In fact, we think it's easier to predict where the stock might be in the next 5, 10 seconds, right? Even the next 5, 10 years. So it's all different in perspective. There is a level as to how much we can scale this in terms of size because the trades are so fast. But when the stocks are moving linear, we can do well. Not to say that we won't have a red day or red trades as we saw this week, but once the market reshuffles, man. So you'll notice that there was a massive bid that came in here. So this dip started around 07, 08. And I'm holding shares through, just kind of scaling out of 10, 9 area. And then this is where we kind of sometimes get that unexpected move. It seems like it's struggling here and just kind of churning. And I'm still holding something just in case. But then there's like a 200,000 share bid that pops up at 13 that just rips the stock higher. And usually when there's a big bid, there's a lot of buying. And so I bought back at 15 with now a stop at 13 as my support, to see what this thing could potentially do. Now, what is the risk here? There's a lot of times where this order is fake, and there's people like myself who will buy like a madman, and then it comes right. There's risk. There's definitely risk, right? This has happened to me before, where the order is a fake order. If you want to say they canceled, or if it's manipulation, and then I bought aggressively at 15 and I'm stopping out at 12, 11, but I accept that risk in this situation, and I'm looking to see how far this can go. But if it's not pushing up instantly, I want to keep the stop tight and potentially look to re-average. And so, it does get to 17, which is a little bit more of a boost up. I do take it off there, and honestly here, it's like, if the order is real and the buyers are strong, I could look to potentially get back in at like 15 or 16 and then keep watching for this thing to go higher, right? Or maybe even a little lower than that, depending on how it plays out. So this ended up being a strong move, making $200 to start. You can see here I'm using like 8K size for base position, which I'm pretty comfortable doing on a stock like this where there's no lag getting in, and the spreads are tight. We can fast forward here for some of the more key trades. I think we priced in a high at 23, and all of this. So the trade I took at 15, or 14, wherever I added, I sold 16, 17, right? So looking back at this, hindsight, of course, it's like maybe I could have held that for another minute to try to get a little more out of it. But it's always a little tricky when we see churn, because it's not guaranteed that we go higher before we go lower, right? Like we could have came back down to this big bid before going back up, in which case that's essentially what I was looking for, to then re-average. So there's a lot of days where, you guys might see me sell, and I like to call it like a 50-50 area where there's a fork in the road up ahead. Do I want to take profits, or do I want to hold the trade? Do I want to hold the trade and also add? Like there's these decisions that we have to make as we're actively managing the trade. And I'm a little bit more conservative usually, so I'll sometimes sell a little early. And we're gonna see that coming up, where I get back in lower and sold before high of day. I'm usually gonna sell early because most times we don't make a new high right away, and I like to just take the couple cents. So fast forward, it's gonna give its first baby pullback here. Let's see. Yeah, it gives the first baby pullback, and I jump in here at 17. And it's a decent bounce. We get back to 21. And I'm surprised that I didn't already take half off. I should have took something off here. Okay, there we go. I did take a little bit. Because we're at 21, we're kind of stalling a little bit, and we're right below the resistance, which was 23. There's no guarantee we get to 23 and over 23. So I'd like to pay myself a little something, at least. So that was the first baby pullback. We're going to fast forward some more. I think I did take a loss somewhere. So it's going to come down again. And this is another fork in the road decision. Do I want to buy the limit order or do I want to buy market? Now, because the spreads on this stock is so tight, looking back at it, I don't know why I tried to squeeze 1 extra cent. It doesn't make sense. You know, you have to be realistic and you have to like really be thinking about these things. If this stock is gonna go from 15 or 14 back to 23, who cares about 1 cent? You know, like sometimes I kind of get caught up being too like trying to squeeze too much, and right here it's gonna backfire because as I'm gonna place this limit order, it's not gonna get filled. Right here I'm gonna play. I should have just marketed in. It's honestly pretty bad. So instead of being in at 15 and the immediate bounce here, my order is just sitting in the space. And in my head, I knew it like, dang, I kind of like, you know, and now here we're seeing 15 by 17, 16 by 17. The stock bounces up like this, you kind of know like, man, I kind of screwed that up. I screwed up that trade right there. If this is a 20 cent, so this is the difference, in the small difference in the trading. Like, if this is a 20 cent spread, you know, yeah, don't even take the chance of getting the high fill. But in this situation, you just got to go for it. It makes every bit of sense, risk to reward wise. So that kind of happened, and I think in this situation, so because it came back down so quickly, you know, I was contemplating on if we might want it to retest the buyer. So I am going to look to re-average here if there's a lot of just selling. I mean, we can see red on the tape at times here. If there's this like extreme amount of red, I'm just gonna sell and perhaps get in below this bid, or maybe right at it. Because, you know, right now that's kind of like the obvious support. It also aligns a little bit with the first 2 candles of the day. I didn't put a trend line here, but you know, share size is fairly decent for this type of move. It does curl up. We get a good trade. We unwind. And then I believe this is where I'm going to take the 50% haircut. Because I thought we held up dip so well that it's going to be likely that the stock might give the move for the retest of the high. Right, so even right here, this is like a high of day, like attempt. This is, you know, it's coming down a little bit, but it's like a breakout trade. Hold up, we gotta go back. So right here, as the 1 minute candle is about to make the new high, I thought we were gonna rip through, and I'm gonna get caught big size at the highs. So it's gonna go through. So 23 is resistance. There's 24 in the ask. I'm gonna buy right here, 25, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, here we go, 28, 30, and the moment I get in, I probably shouldn't have took this trade with that much size. 19, man, this is brutal. And this is the risk. Even buying low, it's the same risk because, you know, sometimes we're gonna go lower than we expect. I mean, I could have bought 8,000 shares at 14 and then it drops down to 12 or 10 and you're selling where you should be buying. It's why it's always so close. Also, the other side of this, instead of dropping 7 cents, 6 cents, it could have squeezed up 7 cents, and then this could have been a good trade, right? So, I'm not getting frustrated, but it's like, ah, damn it, you know, maybe I should have went in with smaller size. Now, this is where I should have been buying, is this dip. And, you know, the process behind getting in here a little higher is that the move just now was a pretty big drop. From 25 to 17, 8 cents. This is a lot for this stock to drop. there should be a relief balance of some sort here. If not, it probably comes down to 14 again area. So I'm gonna put out the limit order I canceled. I'm gonna put out another one, but as I mentioned, this could potentially be the stock you just mark it in because the spreads are so tight. And again, I'm kind of there, and I didn't get that fill when I should have been in for a couple cents. So you can see that I kind of missed out on some gains. And now the selling pressure is gonna really be on. So if we fast forward a little more, there's gonna end up being a lot of selling pressure here. Let's see. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of selling pressure on top of these big bids. And it's going to be a sign that, yeah, this thing might want to break down the previous support. So I'm going to try right here. And then once it comes back down, it's like, okay, I'm going to be done with it and wait for the lower pullback if possible. That's usually how I'll trade all the time. But, you know, there's days where it doesn't work, right? Like this week, you know, it's not always 100%, so it's part of the deal. But if we weren't profitable, you know, in large majority, 7 out of every 10 times, you know, for Marcelo, Tim, Triad, 8, 9 out of 10 times, those guys, it's like we wouldn't be trading the strategy, right? Because a lot of the times we have a 50% to 60% accuracy. And usually when we drop below like 46%, the strategy is not as profitable if, you know, we're really not aiming for that bigger, you know, risk to reward ratio. Let's say 2 to 1, 3 to 1. Sometimes some of the trades are 1 to 1 sometimes, right? And so we got to be careful. So the lower our accuracy, the worse it is. So we do want to aim for those higher risk to reward ratios, buying in obvious areas where there's support, and then waiting for the stock to try and curl up a little bit. Buying areas where the breakout is most likely to go, and keeping a tight stop. So when we do have the 2 to 1 with a 50% accuracy, for every one winner, we'd have to lose twice to get back at 0.
Wix gives you the power of AI to build the website you need. With full business functionality and a design tailored just for you. Customize every element of your website and watch your vision come to life in minutes. Control everything from the biggest tasks to the finest details. Personalized, optimized, ready to go live.
Download our award-winning mobile app and start trading on the move. Introducing a crypto and FX trading account that's as portable as...
We usually stop early. But the days where we lose big is when the stock's just titanic in areas where it should be strong. Or at least give a bounce or hold to some sort of degree. And that's kind of like, you know, something that we have to deal with from time to time because no strategy is bulletproof. So coming back here, we did ended up holding the lows. We caught the move going up. But what I didn't like about this area is that we ended up having a sudden pullback. So, you know, I'm going to try for the breakout again here. And this is where, you know, I mentioned, I called out on the live stream, this stock has not been doing a full retracement to support every time. So if we test high of day, and it gives a small dip, I want to try it. This is risky though, because this could come down right to 14, and then it's like a little choppy, right? But again, this is the stock telling me the story, and I'm gonna listen to it. So I'm gonna wait here, and what I'm gonna do is it gets over the highs. I'm gonna sell 5,000 shares. So right there. Could I have waited for this to go to 34? The answer is yes. But as I mentioned, I'm more of a conservative trader. So instead of me looking for the full profits here for 30, 34 halt up, I'm comfortable taking 5,000 off and then maybe unwinding the other 3,500 shares. But the moment I sell, it's like you know, I didn't expect this to happen. Like, it's already back down here. And this tells me that maybe this is just a failing stock. If it's going to be strong, it has to hold right here and no lower and bounce right back immediately. If not, this is a disaster waiting to happen. And so I want to be careful. And I asked myself, what's the resistance? Well, 23. Why did we go up above the resistance so strong to then come back below the resistance? The stock is bluffing and faking me out. So was there too many short sellers maybe, or lack of buying as we were going up? I'm not sure. The volume did look pretty good here. The move did go pretty strong from 20 to 24 to 27. So it's like, okay, maybe the dip is going to work. And then if it breaks below our support, the next dip down could potentially be good as well. And then that was like the last trade that I took. So if we fast forward a little bit, I didn't take this initial dip because it ended up holding high, a couple cents above our previous support. But then this dip here, once it got through this big buyer, I want this dip. There's another big buyer, and this is risky. And this is where this trade right here is where I sometimes have the biggest loser, sadly, because sometimes this just teleports through every bid. I mean, people just selling and goes all the way down. That's, you know, in those days, the short sellers, they don't even cover, I guess, into this first relief dip. Because if you're short at 23, you'd think you'd maybe take profits right here because we broke down below support. Maybe you can take something off the trade from 23 to 10. You're up 13 cents. What more than that do you need on a scalp trade going down? So I'm thinking maybe there should be some buying here. But some days this just teleports into the halt down. So if it was closer, let's say like 08, I wouldn't take this trade because it's just too close. And I still, you know, it's like my biggest loss of $5 grand is from this type of setup. So when it's too close, I don't take it. But if we can bounce up from this area, you know, I'd look to take a little something off, right? Which is what we did there. And that bounce went right back into the previous support, which at this point is going to be resistance. And this looks like it's going to just be Titanic. This is what I consider backside. Some people will still take the dips here as this like trends lower or trends back up. It's still early in the day. If you zoom out on the macro, like if we pull up the chart on this stock and we zoom out, CNEY. If we look at the 5-minute chart, like if we really zoom out, like it's still early, anything can still happen. So it's not really backside. It's just some more so short term. So right here, it's like just, okay, short term weakness. But can we come back at 12 p.m. and this be right back at highs? Of course, right? So it's why some people do love to sit around the entire day. And I think it can be very rewarding because sometimes this trends back up, consolidates below high of day right here, and then rips to the moon, right? We come back, hey, this thing went to $2. We all were sleeping doing something else, right? Outside running errands, working on a different project or different job, whatever. But there's also the chance that, you know, you could stick around and then it just, you know, trends.
What time you gotta leave, hon?
But a lot of traders who are using this style here in the chat room, some of the students and the guys who go longer, like I know Kitty, for example. Kitty,
I don't know about time, but if I don't, can you run deposits by the bank? I got a lot.
I'll be around.
Yeah.
I don't usually trade all day, but if I'm here and something is moving, you know. But these type of setups here, like these big bottoming wicks, where there's an where there's a blatant flush, obvious flush. There could be something here, and then even when the 1-minute candles do make the new high, because you know this is still a bear flag, right? This is still a bear flag. And it's kind of like ascending resistance here. So when there is a wedge like this, and then the stock breaks over a level here, if they're not already holding from these trades, they're probably buying this breakout and giving it a chance. So there's a baby pullback. Can we retest the high here? If we can get over VWAP, maybe there's something to hold for a few minutes. So there's still trades, even when people are gone, there's still trades that are just happening all day, every day. All day, every day. But yeah, I also want to look over some of yesterday's stuff with the chat room here. But you guys can always feel free to ask any questions. Let's see. I'm gonna pull up yesterday's. Archive. So we got a couple people in here hanging out. Yesterday, the disaster of DUO and going red early. So I did say KTTA. I thought I could have done well on. Interestingly, early, it kept a very tight range. Well, fairly tight. Because we did end up getting, and I bought, let's see, let's go back to the start. I can show you guys I can show you guys a little bit of Tim's archive here too. To show you how Tim tread the needle to be up 1K in the first 3 candles. Now, again, what's our high, what's our low? This thing right into the open just goes, so, you know, can I look for a breakout over 15 or 22? But the way how we kind of open up, like this is market open, we're at 20. For me to just jump in right here, 22 for a breakout, it's like a difficult trade to take. I mean, I could hit buy, right? But it's like there's risk here if this just decides to just flush down to 7. So I don't go for it. And what really gets me is how high this goes. I think it went to 50, 39, 40, 45. And so I tried to take the dip here, low 20s, right here in this spread. And, you know, I thought this might have been enough. We can see that the red has stopped printing. There's a little bit more market orders coming in, white on the tape. But this was not enough. This is my first trade where I got caught. And I remember I said yesterday at the open, overextended dips. This is a normal dip. Overextended here, we had a low of 705. Look at where the stock is going to dip. 705. If I waited for this trade here, and so this I mean literally 705. If I'm like a little bit more patient for this dip, so where I bought, where I'm buying, I should have been, you know, where I'm selling, I was buying, which was good. This is not how I want to start a day. And so like from 50 to 20, like man, it's like man, that's pretty good size dip. But overextended dip, which is literally a low of day dip. And this is what happened between Tuesday to Thursday. You know, if you're quick to adjust to this stuff, like you can make a lot of money every day. But what happens is that sometimes for weeks on end, there's a certain trend, and you get so familiar with it, and then the next day shows up, the trend is not working. But what I've noticed is that if we can adjust, it's okay to have that first red day, I think. But by day number 2, and you know, this is still a problem for me. It's like, by day number 2, there's no excuses, man. Like, by day number 2, you have to be ready. Like, there's no way I should be taking this trade. And I got the higher fill too, 27 on the spread, which is fine. But by day number 2, which this was already Thursday, which is day number, was that Tuesday? By Wednesday, I should have already been ready for this price action. This is Thursday. Why am I still making this mistake here? You know? So after this trade on the live stream, I said, man, what am I doing? I gotta like wait for the overextended dips. Can't get caught. So this literally comes back down to the low of day, and then 30 seconds later, 26. In fact, it might have even gotten higher than that. Let's just look. There's 25. I mean, almost instantly, right? So I ended up selling break even, but it's like I should have been in for that dip, and then taking half right here, maybe holding another half. It's a small. Let me show you guys. I'm gonna sign into my student account, right? Let me show you guys what Tim did instead to take that beautiful trade, right? MMU. Let me log in. Let me show you the fine line. Like, some people don't really believe it when we say it, but there's a very, very fine line. All right. So hold on, I'm getting logged in here. So I'm gonna jump into the classes, right? I'm gonna jump into Diamond. I'm gonna scroll down to well, actually not Diamond. Tim's. I gotta go to Tim's archive. And shout out to Tim, by the way. You know, look at these beautiful. Despite having a slower start to the month, you know, Tim. I mean, just if we were to look at some of these archives from Tim, if you guys want to just check out Tim's archive, you can. I mean, if you want to see live raw footage, this is why we're changing so many lives. You know, I did a verification with 3 people yesterday, all 6-figure traders, some of which were watching me for a year and a half, some people watching since 2020. You're watching someone who's made already $1 million, how they made 8,000 in a day, the raw footage. And we are going to put up the prices on the classes because it's just, regardless of if somebody joins and become profitable or not, the information is too valuable. Where else do you get to go watch Warren Buffett sit down and make his trades? Like this is insane stuff. Nobody has access to see Warren Buffett take all his trades to make 9,000 in a day. Where you know, and all and the transparency. All right, Tim is a great trader. How did he lose 2,400 to then get back to 450? So you can learn from his mistakes in a day. The prices honestly needs to be 10x on everything here because the value of what we provide. It's just as simple as that. It has nothing to do with greed, nothing to do with hunger. The value of what we offer. Where else can you see somebody make a $10,000 day every single trade? All right, I'm going too crazy, but now let's get back on topic. That's just a quick side note because what we're doing is like that. You know, it's just as simple. It's very like that, right? So KTTA. Let me show you guys the first minute of what Tim did here in this particular setup. So he's watching the same stock, and this is the benefit of not only being a student but a teacher, is that we can come back and go over the other traders trading to see, because we know there's a fine line. What mistake did I make? What mistake did he make? How did he avoid the loss? So forth and so forth. How did he capture the trade? Does he have commentary? Okay, no commentary on this one. So he waits patiently for the overextended dip right here that we just spoke about, where we know that we've been seeing in the last 2 or 3 days, and watching him fire off the trade right away right here. It's going to come down. Boom. Right. Perfect. Perfect entry. And you know, Tim, Marcelo, Triad, sometimes they're a little bit more aggressive depending on the trading and stuff. It's the day, you know, all that, depending on how they're doing. You can see where I'm looking to just start the day with 700 shares. Tim is looking to start the day with 2,500 shares, right? So can we see that balance of which we just saw, ripping back up to mid-20s, ripping back to mid-20s, and boom, this is the trade, this is the strategy. Like, you know, are we going to be married to this stock for 10,000 years? The answer is no. The trade came, and the follow through also came. Now it's time to take our gains. You know, boom. If you want to trade one time, if you want to trade one time a day, if your daily goal is $400, well, there it is, you know, and you can say, hey, great day, I'm out of here. That's not how it works for us. You know, we'll kind of see the stock through and through, but this is the strategy, ladies and gentlemen. You know, hyper scalping, we're in and out within seconds. We're watching these key areas. You know, we're looking at the market trends over weeks, months, years, over the day-to-day basis. We're utilizing our level 2 for as an additional indicator along with our chart. We have our criteria to take the trades. There is no stock that we're going to ever be looking at if that stock doesn't have a certain amount of volume, if it doesn't have a lower float, right? If we come to Momo Pro, right? This right here, the no filter. I mean, it has, you know, it's showing a bunch of everything in the market that's just, you know, up top to bottom. And then I have my personalized filter here to have things a little bit more tight. And this particular filter does not scan for below $1. And so I come here, CNEY, okay, you know, every day pre-market, CNEY, I come, okay, 88% move, like all the work is done for me. People wake up in the past 10 years ago, 4 a.m. trying to read the news headline to see which stock is a hot stock. Oh, this pharmaceutical stock had this. I think with this particular type of news, we can see this type of move. You know, we don't have to look for any of that. Like what we're doing here, it's not easy, but it's somewhat simplified in the macro of what we're doing, right? Okay, I wake up, I log in at 9 a.m. The stock is up 86%. There's a certain amount of volume that we're looking for. And in this particular case, this one at this point has 152 million shares relative to the float rotation, right? So the shares available for the public to trade is 2.6 million shares. This is supply and demand, right? So if there's 152 million shares being passed through the stock and the rotation is only 2.63 million, then it's going to create an imbalance, whether to the buy or sell side, right? So, you know, relative volume to what's normal for the stock. I mean, it's up 400x%. So these are all the criteria that we're looking for, right? You know, in the classes, this we go step by step as to why each category is important for us. So each day when you guys see me post that list of 3, 4, or 5 stocks, they're all hitting the criteria here. And from here, I can then get into more of the technicals. What is our range? What is our trend lines looking like? You know, I pay attention to the level 2. And from there, you know, we do utilize a lot of tape reading in these things. So, you know, you guys can check it out. If you do want to join the classes, for those of you tuning in on the YouTube side of things, you know, MMU, man, is the way to go. And none of this would be possible if our strategy was not consistent. You know, you do see Marcelo, Tim, and Triad also getting it done. So you guys can feel free to check it out. And this is where we're going to come to an end because, you know, I did, you know, this doing this show here is like reminding me of like MTV Cribs. It's like I brought you guys into my sanctuary